Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum class. Today we are going to discuss the classification of lipids and synthesis of triacyl glycerols. First of all, what are the lipids? Lipids may be recorded as organic substances which are relatively insoluble in water, and they are more soluble in organic solvents like alcohol, which may be methyl alcohol, ethyl alcohol, and ether. They may be chloroform, they may be DCM dichloromethane. This solubility of lipids into more into organic solvent in comparison with the water depicts that lipids are no doubt they are less polar in comparison to water, and therefore due to the polarity difference they attain the you can say characteristics of hydrophobic molecule. They have the tendency to be more soluble in organic solvents and less soluble, or in many cases they are relatively insoluble in water, actually or potentially related to the fatty acids. And they are it means they are more uh, you can say relation with the you can say similarity with the fatty acids, and they are utilized by the all living cells. They are the part of all the cells, which may be the cell membrane or which may be in case of deposition in the living cells. Unlike the polysaccharides, proteins and nucleic acids, lipids are not the polymers. It means that the polysaccharides like starch, glycogen, they are in fact the polymer of the monomers sugar like glucose and glucose, galactose, and so on. They are glucose, galactose, and lactose are utilized to make the disaccharides and later on the polysaccharides unit. Similarly, protein is made from the many, you can say, the amino acid sequences, and therefore, protein attain the primary, secondary, tertiary, and even the quaternary structure, and they all are the polymerization. You can say the small molecule into the larger one, and they attain the very heavy molecular weights, like in case of hormones and the enzymes which are in fact the proteinous in nature. And nucleic acid standard molecule, which may be DNA, RNA, they are in fact also the polymers, which consist of the repeating units of nucleotides, phosphate groups, and the pentoses sugars, or overall the sugars as well. Therefore we can say that lipids are not the polymer, they are in fact the very tiny or the small molecules in comparison to the other biomolecules, which may be polysaccharides, which may be proteins, nucleic acids. Therefore, the lipids are small molecule, but their applications are very versatile, unique, and in cell functionality, their importance their presence is very, you can say, have contain large amount of uh, significance, and therefore lipids, they are the part of the cells. They have large applications in carrying on the metabolic processes. Next is the classification of the lipids. Lipids are classified as the first, they are classified as simple lipids, and simple lipids consist of fatty acids with the alcohol, and in fact they are the esters of the fatty acids because they contain the esteric group C double bond O, and second oxygen is connected through the alkyl chains. Therefore, they are the esters of the fatty acids with the alcohol, and further, these are mainly of two types simple lipids. They may be fats and oils, or they may be waxes. While fats and oils, they are in fact the triacylglycerols, and these are the esters of the fatty acids with the cholesterol. But the difference between the fat and oil is only the physical one, and the oil is, is the liquid, while the fat is solid at the room temperature. And waxes, they are the esters of the fatty acids, but the fatty acids, they are long chain fatty acids with the alcohol rather than the glycerol, because the glycerol is the 3 carbon containing alcohol, triol. But in waxes, the fatty acids, they bear the more carbon chains, and with the alcohol which is not the glycerol one. And these alcohol may be aliphatic or the alicyclic. And the cetyl alcohol is the most common alcohol which is found in the waxes. And many insects produce the wax, many plants produce the waxes, where waxes can be synthetic as well in nature. But the waxes and the cetyl alcohol, which is the common alcohol in the waxes, it consists of 16 carbon units. It means that they consist of CH3 and CH2, CH2 onward, until 16 carbon are fulfilled, and then is at the terminal there is OH group. It means it's very long chain 16 carbon containing alcohol, which is the most common constituent or the precursor for the waxes. Next is the second class, which is the compound lipids. And these are esters of fatty acids with the alcohol containing additional group, such as phosphate, phosphate group, nitrogenous base, or which may be carbohydrate unit or the proteins. It means that the compound lipids, they must consist of fatty acid and alcohol, and fatty acid and alcohol are united through the steric linkage, but they contain some additional characteristic functionalities, like these functionalities or the additional group, which may be phosphate group, nitrogenous base like pentoses, hexoses, or carbohydrate, other units like the which are bounded through the glycosidic linkages, and the protein unit can also be present with the lipids. Therefore, these compound lipids are further divided into phospholipids. And phospholipid must consist of steric unit, in which the fatty acids and alcohol are binded together, but they contain the phosphoric acid, and frequently a nitrogen base is also present in the phospholipids. And these phosphoric acid and nitrogenous base are the additional unit or the ingredient, or you can say the precursor for the synthesis of phospholipids, in addition to the alcohol unit and fatty acid unit, which must be present in them in order to make them the lipid functionality. And under the phospholipids, they may be the glycerophospholipids, or they may be sphingophospholipids. Glycerophospholipids, these are phospholipids which contain the glycerol as the alcohol, in which there is distinguish between the alcohol unit which is present, and in them the alcohol unit is glycerol. Therefore, the name is derived from the glycerol as glycerophospholipids. And example consist of lecithin and the cephalin. Number next is the sphingospholipids. Sphingosine is the alcohol which is present instead of other alcohol or the glycerol in the sphingospholipids. It means that the name of these phospholipids is derived from the alcohol which is present in them in order to build the steric unit with the fatty acids. And the example consists of sphingomycin, myelin, which is present in the sphingospholipids. It means that the compound lipids must consist of alcohol units and fatty acids. They are binded together in the steric linkage. Along with them, they have certain additional moieties or group, and they may be the phosphate group, which may be the protein units, carbohydrates, and a major class or the major, you can say, the lipids which are under the compound lipids are phospholipids, and phospholipids contain the phosphoric acid most frequently and nitrogen base, and they further consist of the two lipids which are based on or which are the classified according to the alcohol unit which is present in them. Next are the glycolipids, and these lipids contain a fatty acid, carbohydrate, and the nitrogen base. It means that in glycolipids, they consist of fatty acid units, carbohydrate unit, and the nitrogen base. And the alcohol which is present in the glycolipid is the sphingosine. Hence, they are also called as glycosphingolipids, the name which is derived from the uh, glycol unit and which is also derived from the alcohol which is sphingosine present in them. Cholesterol and the phosphate are absent, and therefore there is no phosphate group which is present. There is no glycerol unit which is binded with the fatty acids, and their example consists of the cerebrosides and the gangliosides, which are the glycolipids. And next is lipoproteins. Lipoproteins mean they are the micromolecular complex having large molecular weight, and they are in fact the complexes of the lipids. It means that they must be consist of the fatty acids, they must be consist of the uh, alcohol unit, but the additional molecule which is specific one which is present in them is the protein units. Therefore they are called the lipoproteins. And other complex lipids, which may be the sulfolipids, aminolipids, lipopolysaccharides, are among the other complex lipids. It means that these lipids are present in another class, which are regarded as the other complex lipids, and which consist of the sulfur group, which may consist of the simple amino acids, and the lipopolysaccharides, polysaccharides chain which consist of like glycogens and starch units are among the other complex lipids. Number third class is derived lipids. These are the derivatives of other lipids, like they are obtained on the hydrolysis of group 1 and group 2 lipids, which possesses the characteristics of lipids as well. It means that these are derived from the hydrolysis of the um, uh, group 1 and group 2 lipids, and they therefore possesses the mixed characteristics, and these include glycerols and the other alcohol and fatty acids, which may be yielded as the mono and the diacylglycerol, and the lipids or the fat soluble vitamins, steroid hormones, hydrocarbons, and the ketone bodies are also under it. Next is miscellaneous lipids. These include a large number of the compounds possessing the characteristics of the lipids, like the carotenoids, squalene, hydrocarbons such as the pentacosane, like in bee wax, terpenes, etc. They are also regarded under the headings of the miscellaneous lipids. Next is fatty acids. Fatty acids are mainly occurred in the esterified form, and they are the major constituents of the various lipids, and they are also present as the free mean unesterified form, and simply present as fatty acids in the body. It means that the fatty acids, they can be um, they can develop the binding with the cholesterol or the other alcohol, in order to develop, in order to synthesize the lipids, or they may be certain present as the free state as the fatty acids functionality. And fatty acids of animal origin are much simpler in structure, which are in contrast to those of the plant origin. It means that the fatty acids which are present in plants, they are the more complex one in structure, but the fatty acids which are present in human being animals, they are the simpler one, and which often contains groups such as epoxy, keto, hydroxy, or the cyclopentane rings as well. Therefore, it was the occurrence of the fatty acids, and we can conclude from here that the fatty acids, they can be present as the free state in the cell, or they may be present in the esterified form. And in esterification, they must be united with the alcohol unit to develop the ester linkage, and this ester linkage is developed in lipids. Next is even and odd carbon fatty acids. It means that the fatty acid which may consist of even chain carbon containing, you can say, the functionalities, or the odd chain. Most of the fatty acids that occur in the natural lipids are of even carbon, and this carbon chain ranges from 14 number to 20 number. And this is due to the fact that the biosynthesis of fatty acids, which mainly occurs with the sequential addition of two carbon units, and due to the sequential addition of two carbon units, it means that they give the multiples of two. When they give the multiples of two, the fatty acids which will build up laterally, they must come with the even chain fatty acid units, like the palmitic acid, which is the 16 carbon, which is the even chain, yeah, or the even carbon fatty acid, and the stearic acid, which is also even one. And these two are most common fatty acids, which are even chain and which are present. Among the odd chain fatty acid, propanoic acid, like the 3 carbon, and the valeric acid, which is 5 carbon, they are the most common one fatty acids, which are present in the natural origin. Next is saturated and unsaturated fatty acids, and generally the name indicates that which must consist of number of hybridized carbon which are present as sp3, and unsaturated means the carbon must be sp2 hybridized to yield the double bonds, and these double bond may be isolated, or maybe in the conjugation they may be one, or they be multiples of one. Therefore, the saturated fatty acids don't contain any double bond, while the unsaturated contains one or more double bonds. And both the saturated and unsaturated fatty acid, they almost equally occur in the natural lipids. It means that in natural lipids, the fatty acids, which make the lipids, they may be saturated or unsaturated one. They equally contribute towards the synthesis of the natural lipids in the body. And fatty acids with one double bond are monounsaturated fatty acid, and those with two or more double bonds, they are overall collectively known as polyunsaturated fatty acids, or for them there is utilization of the abbreviation PUFA. And it means that for only the fatty acid which contains the one double bond, we will use the terminology mono unsaturated fatty acids for them. and the other fatty acids which contains two or the multiples or so on many double bonds, they all are regarded as the polyunsaturated fatty acids. Next is isomerism in unsaturated fatty acids. Isomerism means in which the one isomer is converted into an other isomer, and there is utilization of isomerism in the unsaturated fatty acid. It means that we will discuss the fatty acids which consist of one bond or the number of the double bonds more, which are greater than the two, or two or more than two, which are regarded as the PUFA. And the isomerism is such type which may be uh, similar to that of the isomerism which occurs in the normal organic compounds, which we utilized in the lab, but these fatty acids are present in the body, and you will see some change configuration or change, you can say, terminologies for them. Therefore, the unsaturated fatty acids which exhibit the geometric isomerism, and geometric isomerism is, for geometric isomerism there must be the presence of double bond, and double bond is present between the two carbon, and later on the orientation of the group around these two carbon is determined, and if any atom or the acyl group which are present on the same side of the double bond is called as cis configuration, and if these such type of the groups, similar groups which are present anti or the opposite to one another, they are present in the trans configuration. Thus we can say the oleic acid is cis isomer, whereas the um, allylic acid is trans isomers. And cis isomer are which is found in fatty acid, that this, and also in the normal organic molecule which we utilized in the laboratory for organic synthetic methodologies, and cis isomers are less stable in comparison to the trans isomers, and most of the naturally occurring unsaturated fatty acids, they exist as the cis isomers. It means they are the less stable fatty acids in comparison to the trans. It means that the geometric isomerism will be exhibited in the unsaturated fatty acids, which consist of the double bond, and the presence of the group determine that whether they are present on the same side or the opposite side of the double bond to determine their configuration as cis or trans. Thus, the oleic acid, which is the cis acid, it means that these functional group, acyl group, or this simple carbon chain, this is present on the same side of the double bond. This is cis uh, fatty acid, you can say, configuration. It's present in L shape, whereas allylic acid is straight chain. It means that double bond around the double bond, these functionality are present in cross, opposite, trans, or anti to one another. Therefore, it attains the stability in the straight chain. But oleic acid, it is less stable due to the cis configuration. Therefore, it will attain the stability while it will attain the L shape, because the bulky groups are present in on the same side of the double bond, whereas the hydrogen units, which are the very small units, they are present at the other side. And the increase of these double bond units will cause more, you can say, bends. Therefore, the increase in the number of double bonds, it will cause the molecule to bend in order to attain the stability. And the arachidonic acid, which is the very well known acid which is involved in arachidonic acid metabolism, like I have given its structure over here. It consists of one, two, three, four double bond, and it attains the U-shaped geometry. It will attain, or it will, you can say, the configure or arrange its carbon in such a way that there is development of small pocket in its molecule. And it is believed that the cis isomer of the fatty acid with their characteristic bonds will compactly back the membrane structure. It means that when these fatty acids, like the oleic acid, which is the cis isomeric form, when it will going to be bind in such a way that to develop the membrane structure, because our cell membrane is consist of a large number of the fatty acids. Therefore, when these fatty acids are going to pack in such a way to make the compact structure of the membrane, to in order to that none of the material will go outside of the membrane or leak out. It means that there is union of the molecule is in with a complicated way. Therefore, this union of the molecule is make more compact or comprehensive, while fatty acids, which are the cis isomer, are going to make the membrane structure. Next are the functions of the lipids. And lipids, which consist of the fatty acid and cholesterol in the steric unit, they are the concentrated fuel reservoir of the body. And like in case of the triacyl cholesterol, and they provide the energy in very large amount, like in form of calories in comparison to the carbohydrates. Lipids are the constituents of the membrane structures, and they regulate the membrane permeability. It means that permeability means which type of the material or which type of the ions will pass across the cell membrane in order to enter or go outside of the cell, because many enzymes, coenzymes, you can say factors, cofactors, they have to cross the membrane. Therefore, here the membrane permeability is very important. And this membrane permeability has regulation through the lipids constituents. And this membrane permeability, phospholipids take the major part, and also the cholesterols. And these lipids, they also serve as source of fat soluble vitamins. It means that some vitamins are water soluble, whereas some are fat soluble. In order to solubilize the vitamins which are the fat solubles, like A, D, E, K, the presence of the fats must be present. The presence of the fatty acid in the body or in the food is must be there in order to solubilize or make the part of this vitamin, like A, D, E, K. And lipids are important as the cellular metabolic regulators, like the functionalities which regulate the cell functions in the form of steroids hormones and the prostaglandins. Steroids hormones are very important. They carry out the many functions, growth functions, development functions, and therefore the lipids are important regulator over there in order to regulate the functioning, like which are built up by the or which are developed by the hormones. Among the lipids, our important class is triacyl cholesterol. And simple triacyl cholesterol, they contains the same type of the fatty acid units or residues at all the three carbons of glycerol, and they are the simple triacyl glycerol in which all the fatty acids which are present around the carbon units of the three carbons of the glycerol, they are the same one, and the simple example is triestyrene. Triestyrene consists of or it means that it is grouped or categorized under the simple triacyl glycerol fatty lipids. And next is the mixed triacyl glycerols, and they are also the common one. They contain two or three different type of fatty acid residues. In general, fatty acid attached to C1, it means that the fatty acid which is attached on carbon 1, it is saturated one, and the fatty acid which is present at carbon 2, it is unsaturated one, while for the third carbon or the bottom carbon, it may be either. It may be the saturated one or the unsaturated one. It means that the presence of the fatty acid on the glycerol started from the saturated, unsaturated, and on third carbon it may be saturated or unsaturated one. And triacyl glycerols of the plants in general have higher contents of the unsaturated fatty acids compared to that of animals. It means that the unsaturated fatty acids which are present more in plants in comparison to the animals. Here is general structure of the acyl glycerol. Like it's the triacyl glycerol. It means that this CH2, CH, CH2, and if this unit is will not present, then it's simple OH, OH, OH. And around the glycerol, the three fatty acids. This is regarded as the fatty acid unit, second fatty acid unit, and the third fatty acid unit. It means that the three fatty acid unit is present or the united with the glycerol in the steric linkage. Therefore, it is called as triacyl glycerol. And 1,2-diacyl glycerol mean that this position is first, this carbon position is second, and this one is third. The acyl unit is present on carbon 1 and carbon 2, whereas for the one monoacyl glycerol, and for monoacyl glycerol, this you can say fatty acid unit may be present on this carbon, or this carbon. In order to distinguish it, here the term or the unit is used, which is called a one mono. It means that the one fatty acid is present in the um, you can say the acyl glycerol, but this fatty acid unit is present on the first carbon. And for the two monoacyl glycerol, this fatty acid unit is present on the second carbon. And here is represented as the palmitoyl. For palmitoyl, the R must be the C15H31. For stearoyl, it must be 17 C17H35. Linaloyl R must be 17. It means that the 1731. These units depict whether they contain the fatty acid which may be the saturated one or the unsaturated one. Here are the structure of the simple triacyl glycerols, like the triestyrene. Here you can say the you can say cholesterol unit is present, and one, two, and the third one fatty acid are present in the steric linkage in the long chain of uh, carbon units in CH2, CH2, and later the CH3 omega unit are present. This is the well known and the well common um, simple triacyl glycerol. And for the mixed triacyl glycerol, like on carbon 1, this different unit is present, like carbon intervening CH2 units are 11, here are 13, and on carbon number third, there is presence of the unsaturated fatty acid or the presence of double bond is present. And it's the example of triacyl glycerol, which is the mixed one. And it's also called the triglycerides units. Next is the stereospecific numbering of the glycerol. And the structure of the glycerol give an impression that carbon 1 and 3 are identical. Like these carbon, this first and third one are identical. There is no difference because on first carbon it is present in CH2OH manner, and the third carbon it's also present in CH2OH manner. But when its three-dimension structure was under concentration, then it was shown that the carbon 1 and carbon third, they are not the identical one. And in order to represent the carbon atoms of the glycerol, at, the biochemist adopt a stereospecific numbering, and therefore stereospecific numbering is represented as SN. S for stereospecific and N for numbering, and the prefix glycerol with the SN. It means that before the name of glycerol, the SN will be written, and therefore it will show us the stereospecific numbering for glycerol, in which carbon 1 and carbon third one, they are not the similar one. And the biochemist, they collectively, uh, you can say, the accepted this configuration, and this is called the stereospecific numbering of cholesterol. Therefore, the carbon 1 and carbon third, they should be different, and cell possesses enzymes that have the sense uh, they can distinguish these two carbons, carbon like one as a different unit and carbon third as a different one. And thus the glycokinase phosphorylates SN3. It means that enzyme which will act on third carbon and not the first one, and glycerol to give SN glycerol 3 phosphate. It means that stereospecific numbering, uh, while considering while keeping in mind the glycerol unit, and when glycerol is going to be phosphorylate with the enzyme glycokinase while utilizing ATP, the phosphate group which will be imparted or which will make the bond with the oxygen, it will be the carbon third. Therefore, it is called glycerol 3 phosphate. And always the numbering will be from this carbon. It is regarded as first, second, and third. Um, in normal numbering, like for the organic chemistry, when the functional group was present over here, they will be regarded as carbon 1, 2, and 3, but not for the biochemistry. This numbering is specific. Always this carbon is regarded as carbon 1. And therefore, this enzyme, which is glycokinase, it will sense this carbon, and it will bind this, you can say, the portion or the part of the glycerol, and therefore phosphorylate only carbon third instead of carbon 1. Next are properties of triacylglycerol. Number first properties is hydrolysis. It means that triacylglycerol, they can be hydrolyzed, like hydrolysis of the ester, and this hydrolysis must be enzymatic hydrolysis, and it will finally liberate fatty acids. But these fatty acids, they are not liberated at once. They must be liberated sequentially, like first one fatty acid will be liberated, second one, third one, and lastly there are free fatty acids formation and cholesterol. And enzyme which catalyze these reaction are, they are the lipases, and lipases enzyme are very important for the digestion of fats when it it is made the part of gastrointestinal tract. And fat mobilization, when fat is going to provide the energy, when fat is going to be mobilized from the adipose tissues to provide the energy. Therefore, while starting from the triacylglycerol, lipase enzyme will cleave the one fatty acid, and this fatty acid is cleaved from here, from the third position, it's the R3, and to give the diacylglycerol. And at in the second reaction, again lipase will act, and the first fatty acid will be cleaved to give the 2 mono. Here number is written 2. It means that at the second position of the glycerol, one fatty acid unit is still present, and it's called the 2 monoacylglycerol. And lastly, the this second one fatty acid is also liberated or free in the cell to provide the free glycerol unit. It means that the fatty acid will be liberated step by step, and this is called the hydrolysis of the steric linkage or ester bond to provide the free fatty acid and the glycerol. Next is sabonification. Sabonification means hydrolysis of triacylglycerol, but in the presence of the alkali, and alkali like sodium hydroxide. And it will hydrolysis, it will takes place in the presence of the base, and definitely it will provide the glycerol. And the fatty acid which will be liberated, they are not the simple carboxylic acid unit, they must be the salts of carboxylic acid. Therefore, the sodium unit which are present in large amount of the water, they will be attached with the oxygen in order to neutralize it. Therefore, there is formation of sodium salt of the carboxylic acid, and these carboxylic acid are unit derived from the triacylglycerol as the fatty acid. Thus, we can say there is formation of soap. This is the curdle soap or impure soap one, and therefore overall reaction is written over here like triacylglycerol utilize 3 sodium hydroxide units or in 1 is to 3 molar ratios to give glycerol and the 3 RCONA as soap. Next is renicity. Renicity is the term which is used to represent the deterioration of the fats and oils, resulting in the unpleasant smell and bad taste in the fats and the oils. And then there is question how this renicity or the bad smell and unpleasant taste is occurred in the fat or the oil. And in fact, the fats which containing the unsaturated fatty acids, they are more susceptible towards the renicity. It means that the imparting of the bad smell or deterioration of the fats or oils is more pronounced or profound in case when the fats are unsaturated fatty acids. And rancidity occurs when fat or oils are exposed to the air, moisture, light, or the bacterial decomposition. And hydrolytic rancidity also occurred due to the partial hydrolysis of the triacylglycerol by the bacterial enzyme. It means that the fats or oils, they are exposed to the bacteria in the presence of moisture as well. Therefore, the bacterial enzyme, they will lyse or they will break down the steric linkage and therefore liberate the triacylglycerol unit. From the triacylglycerol unit, they will liberate the fatty acid. Therefore, the hydrolytic renicity will occur. And oxidative renicity, it's due to the oxidation of the unsaturated fatty acids. It means that the unsaturation on the end saturation, some groups are imparted and which will cause the oxidation of the double bonds, and this will result in the formation of unpleasant products such as dicarboxylic acid, aldehydes, or the ketones. Therefore, unpleasant products are formed in the fat or oil after their renicity, and these products may be the carboxylic acids, aldehydes, or ketones after further, you can say, the breakage of the fatty acids unit. Next is antioxidants. These are the substances which can prevent the occurrence of the oxidative renicity. They are known as antioxidant. It means that in order to cope with, or in order to check or stop the renicity, certain antioxidants, they can be added into fats or oils in order to make their taste and smell prolonged as better one. Therefore, these substances can prevent the occurrence of oxidative renicity in them, and therefore the very small amount which is called as trace amount of antioxidants such as the tocopherol or vitamin E or the hydroquinone, like its structure is shown over here, hydroquinone, and gallic acid, alpha naphthol. These are some additives which can be added to the commercial products of fats and oils during its preparation in order to prevent it from the process of renicity. And the propyl gallate, butylated hydroxyanisole BHA, which is present in the 2 isomeric form. It means that this tertiary butyl group, this can be present um, at the ortho position, or it can be present at the meta position. Therefore, this is BHA present as the 2 isomeric form. It can be added, and the butylated hydroxytoluene BHT, they all are added to the fats and oils to prevent the renicity, and they all serves as antioxidant in the food preservation. Next is lipid peroxidation in vivo. It means that lipids or fatty acids which are present in the body, they are undergoing the process of peroxidation. In peroxidation, what will happen? In living cells, lipids undergo oxidation to produce peroxides like hydrogen peroxide, AH2O2, and the free radicals. And you know the free radicals are very dangerous for the cells and tissues, and they can result in the damaging of the tissues. And the free radicals are also believed to cause many inflammatory diseases. They cause the process of aging, cancer, and atherosclerosis as well. And it's in fact the fortunate, we all are very blessed that we have also the other mechanism in order to prevent this peroxidation of the lipids. What's present in our cell? Our cell possesses antioxidants such as vitamin E, urate, or the superoxide dismutase. It definitely prevent this peroxidation of the lipids, and therefore we are much covered, or which are much prevented from the uh, very bad process which are going to be occurred, like many inflammatory diseases and the aging or the cancer. In fact, next is how to test the purity of the fats and oils. In order to test the purity of fats and oils, some tests are given. First one is iodine number, and it is defined as the gram or the number of the iodine which are absorbed by the 10 gram of fat or oil. It means that you will take the 10 grams of fats and oils, and you will see how many grams of the iodine will be absorbed by it. And the iodine number is very useful to know the relative unsaturation of the fats. And if the unsaturation of the fat is more, it means that the more iodine will be absorbed, and it's directly proportional to the contents of the unsaturated fatty acids as well. Thus, the lower is the iodine number, less is the degree of unsaturation. It means that the iodine number is to there to check the number of the double bonds, or in fact the number of degree of unsaturation which is present in the fatty acids, and these fatty acids are making the lipids or oils, you can say. And here are the some iodine number for some fats or oil is given. Like it's very less for the coconut oil. Coconut oil contains only 7 to 10 iodine number. For butter, it's um, only 25 to 28. For olive oil, it's very great, 80 to 85. And for cottonseed oil, it's 100 to 110. Sunflower, which we use in the or for our cooking as well, it consists of 125 to 135. It means that number of double bond, or the degree of unsaturation, is going to be increased down the down the this uh, table. And linseed oil, which is also called like LC, it consists of 175 to 200. Many double bonds are present in the, therefore iodine number for the linseed oil is very great one. And second is the saponification number. It is defined as the milligram, or the number of potassium hydroxide which is required to hydrolyze or saponify 1 gram of fat or oil. And saponification number is a measure of average molecular size of fatty acid which is present. And the value is higher for the fats which is containing short chain fatty acid. And saponification number of few fats and oils are given, like human fat. The saponification number is 195 to 200. Butter and then coconut oil is also greater one. It means that for saponification number, it will give the information about the average molecular size of the fatty acid which is present in the lipids. And if the saponification is number is higher for certain fat, it means that it's contained the short chain fatty acid. And this value is it's lower for the human fat. It means that human fat, this value is lower one. It means that it contains the other number, different number of the fatty acid chain, because the value is higher for the fats which contain the short chain fatty acid. It means that the coconut oil contains the fat chain fatty acid. Therefore, saponification number is another parameter which gives us information about the uh, molecular size of the fatty acid which is present in some oil or the fat. Next is the acid number, and acid number is defined as the number of milligrams of potassium hydroxide which are required to completely neutralize the free fatty acids which are present in 1 gram of fat or oil. I have told you earlier that some fatty acids, they are present in the esteric form, whereas some are present in the anesteric form. It means they are recorded as the free fatty acids. And this acid number is in fact give the information about the free fatty acid which is present in 1 gram of fat or oil. And in normal circumstances, refined oil should be free from any free fatty acid. It means that good quality oil contains no free fatty acids. All of the fatty acids which are present in them, they must be linked in the steric linkage. Therefore, oils with increased acid number, they are regarded as unsafe for human consumptions, for human utilizations, for human needs. Second half is the triacylglycerol synthesis. And triacylglycerol synthesis, it mostly occur in the liver and in the adipose tissues, which are present at the multiple positions in our body. And this triacylglycerol synthesis, it takes place to the very lesser extent in the other tissues. And the fatty acid and cholesterol, they must be activated first in order to go into the process for the synthesis of triacylglycerol. And means that the precursors, which are the fatty acid and the glycerol, they must be activated in some by some mechanism in order to go in the pathway of the triacylglycerol synthesis. And next is the conversion of fatty acid to the acyl CoA by the thiokinase enzyme. Here is a simple structure of the fat triacylglycerol is given. It's the glycerol backbone, and here is the fatty acids like the first fatty acid chain, second one, and the third one. Therefore, SN represents the stereospecific numbering, which is given to as it's for position 1, 2, and third. And these three fatty acid chains are present in the steric linkage with the glycerol backbone to give the triacyl glycerol structure. Number first is synthesis of glycerol 3-phosphate, and two mechanisms are involved for the synthesis of glycerol 3-phosphate. In liver, cholesterol is activated first by the enzyme which is cholesterol and this enzyme is absent in adipose tissues. It means that in liver, the cholesterol is activated very actively in very high amount in comparison to the adipose tissues. Thus, in both liver and adipose tissues, glucose will serve as precursor for the cholesterol 3-phosphate, and dihydroxyacetone phosphate, which is produced in the glycolysis, you have seen multiple times. It's reduced by the glycerol 3-phosphate dehydrogenase enzyme to cholesterol 3-phosphate. It means that the main purpose of this step was to obtain the glycerol 3-phosphate in order to carry out the synthesis of triacyl glycerol. Here you can see while starting from the glycerol, utilizing the ADP, glycerol kinase will transfer one phosphate group from ADP to the third carbon. Therefore, there is production of glycerol 3-phosphate molecule, and in this way glycerol is activated because it has been changed into the glycerol 3-phosphate, which can undergo the mechanism or the pathway of triacylglycerol synthesis. And from glucose, if glucose is there to provide the dihydroxyacetone phosphate group through the glycolysis, then this DHAP can enter in the triacylglycerol synthesis in such a way that dihydroxyacetone phosphate is going to undergo the process of reduction or the hydrogenation, and the enzyme is cholesterol 3-phosphate dehydrogenase. It will add it up to hydrogen across this carbon to change the carbonyl functionality into alcoholic one. Therefore, NAD NADH and H will be changed into NAD. It means that two hydrogen are derived from these units to give the or to provide two hydrogen across this carbon and to reduce this carbon, and therefore dihydroxyacetone phosphate is reduced into glycerol 3-phosphate, which is the first starting material for the triacylglycerol synthesis. Number next is addition of acyl group to form the triglyceride. And from glycerol 3 phosphate, acyl transferase enzyme catalyze the transfer of another acyl group to produce the lysophosphatidic acid. And DHAP can also accept acyl group if DHAP is there to give the triglycerol from while starting from the glucose metabolism, and it will ultimately resulting in the formation of the lyso uh, lysophosphatidic acid. Like here you can see from the pathway starting from cholesterol 3 phosphate, one acyl group is taken from this acyl CoA. As CoA will be released as coenzyme ASH, cholesterol 3 phosphate acyl transferase. It means that it will cause the transfer of the acyl group from the acyl CoA to the first carbon of the cholesterol. Therefore, there is formation of the lysophosphatidic acid, but it still contains the phosphate group on the third carbon. And if dihydroxyacetone phosphate is there, then dihydroxyacetone phosphate group in fact changed into first glycerol 3 phosphate, and later on if dihydroxyacetone phosphate have not changed into cholesterol 3 phosphate, then it will attain this pathway, and in this pathway again it has the capacity to accept the acyl group from the acyl CoA, uh, and acyl group is also added up to the position first of the cholesterol, and in this way one acyl dihydroxyacetone phosphate is formed, and enzyme is utilized as dihydroxyacetone phosphate acyl transferase. It means that such type of enzyme which is responsible for the transfer of the acyl group from the acyl CoA to the dihydroxyacetone phosphate, and later on this one acyl dihydroxyacetone phosphate will be changed into phosphatidic acid by the enzyme 1-acyl DHAP reductase, and it will cause the reduction of this carbonyl group, and this reduction of carbonyl group is accompanied by, or it will be carried out by the participation of NADPH and H, and they will cause the reduction of this, and here NADPH is involved instead of NADH. It means that if we are going to discuss the reduction of DHAP into glycerol 3 phosphate, then the hydrogen will be derived from NAD. But if one acyl DHAP is going to be reduced, that hydrogen is derived from NADPH. This is not a similar step. There is a difference in it. And in this way, the carbon 2 or the carbonyl 2 will be reduced into the alcoholic functionality. And by this cyclic process, there is formation of lysophosphatidic acid. Next is another acyl group is added to the lysophosphatidic acid to form the phosphatidic acid, which is 1,2-diacylglycerol phosphate, and enzyme is phosphatase, which cleaves off phosphate of the phosphatidic acid to produce the diacylglycerol, and later on there is incorporation of another acyl group, which is the third acyl group, and finally it will result in the synthesis of triacylglycerol. How it will happen? While starting from the lysophosphatidic acid, which consists of only one acyl group at the first position, acyl transferase enzyme transfer another acyl group. In this acyl group, R is R2 in order to make a difference from the R1, and this acyl group will be make part of carbon number 2. Therefore, it is the 1,2 diacyl, uh, you can say molecule, and it is called the phosphatidic acid, which consists of two acyl group at first and second position, and third one is the phosphate group, which is present at the third position. And after this, this can attain two pathways. In one pathway, it will go in such a way to yield the triacylglycerol, while in another pathway, this phosphatidic acid gives the phospholipids, which are another important class of the lipids. And by the phosphatase enzyme, this phosphate group will be cleaved by the process of hydrolysis, and from H2O, H will be added over here, and therefore there is formation of diacyl, which are present as first and second position of glycerol to yield the diacyl glycerol. It means that third acyl group will only be added up to the third position unless or until there is liberation of the phosphate group from the position number third. Therefore, first phosphate group is liberated as the inorganic phosphate group, and from the water, hydrogen is added up over here to give the diacyl glycerol. And last step is the incorporation of the third acyl group, and again acyl transferase enzyme transfer the third acyl group having the R3 uh, alkyl functionalities at the third position to give the triacylglycerol. In this way, triacylglycerol is formed in the or synthesized in the cell, and mainly this synthesis will be carried out in the liver, and to very lesser or the smaller extent, this synthesis is going to take place in other tissues. And glycerol may be the starting material, or dihydroxyacetone will also act as the precursor. And through the you can say the sequence of the steps, one by one acyl group will be added up. Transferase enzymes are very important one, which are responsible for the transfer of the acyl group. In this way, three acyl group will be added across the glycerol to give the triacylglycerol, and these are present in the steric linkage. And these three fatty acids which are found in the triacylglycerol, they are not the same one, and there must be saturated fatty acid, uh, which is in larger amount, 90% amount. It's usually present at the carbon 1. Unsaturated fatty acid is present on carbon 2, and for carbon 3 it may be the saturated or the unsaturated, depending on the uh, which type of the fat, or you can say lipid is present. And the intermediates of the TG synthesis, for phosphatidic acid and the diacylglycerol, they can also be utilized for the synthesis of phospholipids in an other pathway. For assignment, you have to prepare the synthesis and the significance of the compound or the complex lipids and the derived lipids. You will first state the synthesis, how the complex or the compound and the derived lipids are formed, and give their significance in such a way at which part of the cell, or for which cell organelles or cell functioning, these are important ones. For today's lecture, it's for the synthesis of triacylglycerol, and journal classification of lipids, and what is the saturated, unsaturated fatty acids, and student prepare them well. concentrate on your lectures and go through the lectures and the pathways multiple of time, and please draw them in order to understand them well. Best wishes.